So today I am going to take you to explore China's new mega airport, the Beijing Daxing Airport, which is 46 kilometers south of Beijing City. And there are two ways to get there by train. One is on a high-speed rail like this, the Chinese fast bullet train, and it costs about 90 yuan. You get a seat in business class like this, or 25 yuan in the second class. And the second way is by a dedicated metro line, and it's about 20 minutes by the metro line. There's one button on the chair you push down, it converts to a flat bed, just as good as first class seats on the airplanes. I have the whole cabin here myself, business class, only 5 seats available. It's incredibly quiet on this train, and you couldn't hear much noise, and it's very little vibration as well. So now we're gonna speed up all the way to Daxing. Well, that was very, very smart. They can rotate the seats around 180 degrees when they change track and go to the other directions. Here I come, Beijing Daxing. Well, British Airways, the flight behind me, is the first to arrive. A foreign airline first arrival at Daxing Airport today at 9:10 a.m.
Here we are, Sam. Beijing Daxing Jichang.
Hello, Cristiano. We've been waiting for you.
Hey.
How are you?
Good to see you finally here, and it's a great pleasure to be here with you guys and for the opening of the new Daxing Airport. The end of 8 years of work and great collaboration with our French and Chinese partners.
Welcome to Beijing. Welcome to Daxing. Welcome to Beijing. Welcome. First crew ever. Welcome to Daxing Airport. Welcome to Beijing.
This point right here, between my feet, is the absolute center of the building. So it's the 6th armed star. South Pier is international. The other 4 are domestic, and the north is the railway station. Everything comes together geometrically right in this point.
Wow,
right in
look
the
at this.
center of the building.
Mirrors on the ground.
At one point there were up to 40,000 workers working here on 3 times 8, so 24-hour shifts. We at one point had 80 tower cranes maneuvering things on the site. I think rightly the people in China are very, very proud of this building because it is only possible to do something like this amazing in China. And one of the things that's really nice about one of the design features that we have here is that you can stand here on the land side right up until the edge of the central unifying space that brings people together. So one of the things that we have here, which I want to briefly explain, is the vertically stacked design of the building. So we're standing right up here on this mezzanine with some restaurants and bars on the land side, and you look down into this main central canyon, which is the big domestic departure canyon with all the domestic retail. Above it you have international departures, so passengers cross the canyon and they go over to emigration, where they take their passport control and then go out to the international pier to the south. And then down below in this big oculus, this big elliptical hole, you have the immigration, where people are arriving. The first thing they can do is look up and see this wonderful space that is quite uplifting and relaxing after a long flight. You see the central dome here, where we have the national flag hanging. It's a big dome which brings in light. You're coming through from the land side over to the air side into the central dome, and it's a space where you orientate yourself. And then you can see that there's different strips of light that go down the individual piers, so it becomes very intuitive the way that you find your way to the gate. And if you look down the piers, you will see that you can see all the way down to the pier ends, you can see all the individual gates. So suddenly the airport as a size, even though it's a very large building, it's one of the largest single volume passenger terminals in the world, it's not intimidating. It's still on a human scale. It uses this idea of courtyards, which is something that comes out of traditional Chinese architecture. It uses this idea of layering of spaces, which is also quite an urban feeling, and makes people feel comfortable. And it also makes people feel like they're in control of their journey. So it's 8.5, 9 minutes from the central part of the building to the furthest gate on a pier, which is quite remarkable for an airport of this size. And also we do it all without the so-called APM. We don't need one of those little airport trains, one of those little airport people movers. Everything is done on foot, which makes it very sustainable also. Around this central space, we have these 6 mega columns. You can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and 6 are behind us. just with these 6 mega columns and a space frame technology, which is a very large space frame technology using steel welded spheres and hollow round sections, so tubes, which has been developed now over the last several decades in China. It's now quite a sophisticated technology that lets us span, these incredibly long distances column free. And so what that means is all the things you see inside here, including where we're standing, the retail pods, the bridge, everything here, in theory, could be moved around over the next 50 to 70 years, which is kind of the lifespan of a project like this. Things could move around and be replaced here without changing the character of the building or having to gut it or having to kind of rip it apart.
The airport here has become a major tourist site. Look at the people continuously, like a river, coming in, taking photos and selfies. They're not flyers, but they're just coming to enjoy the environment, the brand new China's mega airport.
说一下感受吗？老先生，
挺壮观的。
很富强了，然后我们都为身为中国人很骄傲和自豪。真是。
他是建筑师，对。
建筑师，
对。
这太棒了。
漂亮嘛。
啊，白日漂亮。
Here we are on level 4, which is the traditional full-service check-in level with traditional check-in desks, both for international and domestic passengers. But also what this airport has, which is a huge innovation, is a level below which is dedicated to self-processing passengers who arrive already with a boarding pass and have no bags, or they can drop a bag through an automatic bag drop. Just purely frequent domestic travelers have their own level below, and that really expedites passenger throughput.
It's coming out of a train station on the ground floor here. I already see a lot of check-in counter. This is the beauty of Daxing Airport. The feature is a transportation hub seamlessly connected to the airport. So when you come out from the train, you go straight to check-in, go up third floor, go through the security checkpoint, and go straight to the boarding gates. The whole experience will be seamless. Well, when you arrive at the airport straight away, you felt the architecture. It's just wonderful, amazing. There's lots of curve here. You can see the whole airport is curved around, and it just felt very spacious, very bright. It's an incredible feature at Daxing Airport, where this here, a straight line at 44 kilometers, you can get through to Tiananmen Square, and then to the bell tower, to the drum tower, to the National Stadium. It is all a straight line. They call the center X of Beijing. And I encourage you guys to come to see the landmark here on the 4th floor of Daxing Airport. So I just passed through the security in the air side, the international side. You can cross the 2 bridges, then you get to the custom. Then after that, it will be the gate area. So I am at the international pier at Daxing Airport. They separate this for domestic pier and the